Hello, welcome to MUFC MPB YouTube. I'm your host Ash Meppers. Before we continue on, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us with the algorithm and it helps us get more videos out to more Manchester United fans like yourself. Now, in today's news, we're going to be talking about Newcastle United. We're going to be talking about the player revolt, rebellion, whatever you want to call it. Erik ten Hag's opinions and his ideas of what we need to do going forward. And also Sir Bobby's memorial. Now, Erik ten Hag has done a recent interview with United Review. If you weren't aware, United Review is the matchday programme which is sold every match day at Old Trafford. This is what he's had to say. He said, our focus moves back to the Carabao Cup and a reminder of how well we did to win this competition last season. Our game management throughout that cup run, especially in the final against Newcastle, showed our ability to rise to big occasions. And tonight is definitely another big occasion for us. He also said, while this has not been the start of the season that we had all hoped for, I'm certain that we have the talent and the attitude as a collective to move in the right direction. I believe that is only a matter of time before we are showing our true selves. It will come, I am certain. I will continue to believe in these players and I'm confident we will improve after a difficult start to the season. Now, all this is stuff that you would really expect Erik ten Hag to say, to come out and defend his players, back his players, because really that's the only option he's got. What we do want to see is we want to see a little bit of rotation. We want to see a little bit of frustration from him, really, because this has not been good enough, what we've seen over the past season. We had a decent run of games coming into the Manchester derby. We won 3 on the bounce. Not great performances by any stretch, but they were wins and we got the job done. We got the results. Now, okay, you can argue that he's had a lot of injuries. He stuttered and struggled with team lineups, especially last Sunday when he played Christian Eriksen and McTominay over his signing that he brought in the summer, Mason Mount. Now, okay, you might argue that he's given a season for Mason Mount to bed into the play, but now you look at some of the team choices on Sunday. Lindelof playing at left back, Delort on the right back, when really could switch them over. Both would have done fantastically in respective positions. Then you're talking about the tactical reasons for leaving Varane out and putting Maguire in. All a little bit worrying. Continuing to play Marcus Rashford, even though he's had terrible form of lately, not giving Garnacho a chance there at that left wing spot. Hannibal Mejbri not seen any minutes after a fantastic performance against Burnley, and then a decent performance, and probably our best performance of the season in the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace. So there is a little bit of confusion, a little bit of worries there from Manchester United fans as to what is Erik ten Hag's plans going forward. What is he looking to do? And some of the players, you could argue, are feeling the same themselves. And we've heard that the players are upset, the players aren't happy. Marcus Rashford, as we'd seen on our MUFC MPB Twitter and X account, was partying on Sunday night after the Manchester derby. I don't know about you, but that's not something that I would have planned. Especially, okay, you can understand, yeah, it's his birthday, but after a derby defeat and feeling the loss, I wouldn't want to show my face anywhere. I wouldn't want anybody to see me. I'd be kind of embarrassed to be going out partying and stuff. And reports come out that players essentially are unhappy with Erik ten Hag. Now, is that because Erik ten Hag's got Marcus Rashford in, had a word with him saying what you're doing partying, or at least if you are going to party, make it private, make it at your home, and then it's been publicised, it's got widespread media attention, and then now we're seeing that the day after that, these reports and leaks coming out that players aren't happy with Erik ten Hag. Now, we saw this under David Moyes, we saw this under Louis van Gaal, we saw this under Mourinho, we saw it under Ole, and now we're seeing it now under Erik ten Hag. There's a few constants in that: Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Martial, and I believe Lindelof. These are some of the most long-standing players at Manchester United. Scratch Lindelof. I don't think he was signed under Mourinho, were he? So yeah. But the rest of the lads, those were playing under Louis van Gaal. So you kind of begin to worry and speculate, could it be part of that contingent, that camp that are always complaining, always moaning? It is worrying as a Manchester United fan, and it's something that you don't really want to see. And you look to some of the players that have been brought in, the likes of Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Casemiro. I can't imagine those lads, Onana even, I can't imagine those lads would be the ones that were causing the disruption and disharmony. Now, okay, maybe we need to take these reports with a pinch of salt, because whenever a bad performance comes out of Old Trafford, then usually the media jump on and talk about leaks. But there's a few credible sources that come out and said that, yeah, there is issues with players in the training ground. And we can already see that with Jadon Sancho and what's happened there with him being left out of the team and left out of the squad training and stuff like that. So it is worrying, and it's almost like the start of the end, the beginning of the end. And you usually hear these sort of rumours a few months into a manager's decline and then eventual sacking. So hopefully that's not the case with Erik ten Hag. We want to see him succeed. We want to see him do well. Right now, we're a little bit worried as to what his plans are, and that's what we'd like to see. What's he got in mind going forward? We'd heard on our show a couple of days ago that he doesn't want to play like Ajax. He wants to play in his own Manchester United way, in a transitional, fast, quick attacking style. We're not seeing it on the football field. So at the moment, Manchester United fans are a little bit worried and a little bit asking the question, is Erik ten Hag the man to take us forward? I believe he is. I think you've got to give him the time, but there is worrying signs as to how Erik ten Hag lines up his team tonight. Over at X, Twitter, whatever you want to call that, we've put our potential lineup over there. We believe that Onana would still take his place in goal. I'd like to see Bayinde make a start, especially if Onana is going to be going to the AFCON in January. We need to give him some game time, get him accustomed to what it's like playing at Old Trafford under that kind of pressure. So I would like to see Bayinde be given a chance tonight. Reguilon coming back into the starting lineup with Maguire, Varane and Delot. Casemiro also potentially getting a few minutes at least after missing the last couple of games. Hannibal and Mount with that energetic, that just energy in the midfield that we've not seen from the likes of McTominay and Eriksen in recent games. And then Garnacho, a deserved start. Much needed start from Garnacho, especially considering and looking at Marcus Rashford's form over the past 3 or 4 games. So Garnacho going in there. Pellistri on the right hand side. You could put Anthony in there. You could put maybe Mason Mount on there and put Bruno in the middle, and then Martial up top. Now you could maybe argue to keep Rasmus Højlund in there, but you want to keep him fit. There's apparently issues, with his back and his full match fitness. So giving Martial a little bit of a run out, I wouldn't have any issue with that. And then potentially bringing Højlund on around the 60th minute. If things are looking a little bit dire for us. It's going to be a tough game tonight. Manchester United have beat Newcastle on 6 of the last 7 occasions. We've played against them in all competitions. It's going to be an interesting duel tonight. It's going to be an interesting battle. Where do you see it? What's your score predictions? What lineups would you like to see? Make sure you let us know in the comment section. Make sure also to hit that like and subscribe button if you've not already. Also, Newcastle come into this game with a lot of injuries. As you can see, the missing players for Newcastle: Harvey Barnes, Sven Botman, Alexander Isak, Jacob Murphy, Elliot Anderson, Sandro Tonali, Javier Manquillo. Doesn't really play, but still, there's a lot of players missing there. So that gives us an opportunity to go and win that game tonight. Newcastle have been on fantastic form, like I was saying just a moment ago. 10 games played, only 1 game lost from Newcastle. So Newcastle are in great form, really. Manchester United, we've struggled against teams of late. And what happens tonight? I'm going to go for... I think we're going to be comfortable tonight. I think a few young lads come into it. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Manchester United. Okay, you might say I'm dreaming, I'm over-optimistic, but I'm reckoning it all starts to turn around. This is the moment where the Manchester derby was the shock. Although saying that, I think I've said that almost every game after a bad performance. I'm hoping at some point it's going to turn around. And why not? Why not the Carabao Cup? A competition which we won. We are the champions of the Carabao Cup. So tonight is going to be the game where it all starts to turn around for Erik ten Hag. And we're going on a massive win streak. We've got a few decent games coming up. A few comfortable... Well, I mean, not any game's comfortable for Manchester United lately, but you'd hope they should be comfortable games if we were all firing. A few players coming back from injury. So, yeah, this is the game where we turn it around and we start to get on to winning ways. Now, if you weren't aware, Sir Bobby Charlton's funeral will take place on Monday at 2 p.m. That will take place at Manchester Cathedral. The ceremony will celebrate and pay tribute to the great man Sir Bobby Charlton, his incredible life as a father, a husband, a grandfather, and of course, England's finest ever footballer. The procession will pass Old Trafford, so if you can make your way down there to celebrate the great man's life, any of the memorabilia at the Sir Bobby Charlton and Holy Trinity statue will be taken and moved into the memorial, into the Manchester United Museum Memorial. Also, any flowers will be composted and used at the gardens at Carrington, and then the plastic will be recycled. So the club is looking for fans to come down and pay tribute and pay homage to the great man's life. Now, in some good news, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia are all expected to return to action within the next month. We're desperate for some reinforcements in that back line. Having to play Lindelof on that left-hand side, really personally, I think he should be played on that right side, but that's another argument to be made. So these a little bit of respite for that back line, and hopefully we'll see a big improvement in the defensive performances going forward. So. And that wraps up everything we've got to talk about today. Make sure you've hit that like, subscribe button, all that kind of good stuff. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'll be going to the game tonight, so keep an eye out for me on TV or check me out on the match vlog tomorrow. Ash Meppers. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching. We're back tomorrow. Come on, United!